again, look at this model we expanded. Button object, click and get the source event set on action. This is just generic format on ever X event. Could be on action, on mouse click, and so on. And listener to a class is composed of that listener feed in here, which this class implement the event handler interfaces. T-type. We can apply that into a button object, which is source is the button. When we click on button, it's triggered a set on action event, which composes of the class custom listener class, which implement the action events. Event handler has to be implemented. Look at the code. Create a new object OK button. OK handler class instantiated and passed into set on action. And this OK handler class has to implement the interface event handler, which require to implement handler method. And complete code we are seeing in here, right? Button, create handler class, pass that handler class, implement the event handler, which implement handle, and do whatever it is, process it. Let's look at another example. We can make a game to enlarge and shrink the circle. So this is just implement the stack pane. There's another layout. Stack pane is just put on the top of shader pane. So when you add the object put on the top like that. A stack. Create circle class. We already have circle class that we use. Pass the radius in as 50 by default. Set the stroke to black. Set fill to white. We already know those. Class. Now we add the circle into the pane. We're going to create two buttons, button enlarge and shrink, and add that to the pane. But we use edge box, so that means edge box has to get into the border pane, create another pane, put the circle pane to center, edge box into the bottom of the border pane. Align it, set alignments to center, and then add the border pane to the scene, add scene to the primary stage, and show it. I really know how to implement the buttons behind the scene, right? Now, when you run this application, this one doesn't have the GUI. So let's start in our code. I'm going to put this into our previous project, because our previous project, which has circle already, I already created a circle class. Now I'm going to create new package. Let's do new package. I'm going to call this package as the view, where I have all the Java FX view here. We're going to create new Java class, and this class name control circle without event handling. Alright, so we already see the code. Now let's run and see what we get. We didn't add the event to this yet, right? Because there's no action add to the button. We only create. And extend application. So let's run Alright, so we get a circle created here according to this code. Alright, we get a circle, class add the circle, because we already set the stroke for circle. And let's review our circle again. This is just from the, actually this circle actually not our circle that we created. It's circle from JavaFX, from the paint animation when you draw a circle. The one that we created, we cannot draw it. Okay. Now we didn't put any event on it, so you cannot enlarge and shrink. Alright, so the question is how we're going to set event on it. So let's create a control circle in there. So to control, of course, we're going to set on action, that's the button, and we call new enlarger handler. This is a class that we talk about the handle, right? So new, this is a class right here. It's going to pretty much just call enlarge, circle paint.enlarge, right? So when you hit, it's called enlarge. How about shrink? Let's look at, so this is button shrink created. So this is how we shrink, right? Circle paint is another this is another class that we create extends from stack pane. So this circle pane pretty much just add the circle to the children and set the stroke and set fill and do the change the radius of the circle. So that's why circle pane is the key here to make it change, to redraw it. So we will have to rely on circle pane. So I'm going to create a linear class. So by paste the circle pane inside the class, inner class should be inside the class right there. And now we have circle pane created. Need to closing that class. Now we just read how it's enlarged. It's just change the radius, right? Shrink just reduce the radius size. So this is just set the radius to, if the radius greater than 2, then you reduce it by 2, else you just set it to 2, because we don't want it to get too small. Now come back to how we implement enlarge. We have to create a enlarger handler, implements event handler, action event, and handle it. So I'm going to create this class and put this class inside here, right? So that enlarger, and we have to do action event. This is a button, and event handler. This is just like exactly what we done before. Import a class. Now circle pane. It has to be a public instance. Otherwise, you're not able to refer to that. Right, so we have circle pane. It seems like this is the, you see, private to the class, I mean public to the class, but private for outer, right, something is outside it. So when you declare this attribute, so inside the class they all see circle pane. So that's why circle pane can directly call enlarge. In this case, meaning that we have to register this enlarger handler to your enlarge button right there. So bt enlarge dot set, and we know we have to do by set on action new enlarge header. So that's how we register. Now let's test if we can enlarge first. I didn't register the shrink yet. Okay, so not enlarging. So let's see what happens. So we say button new enlarger header should be created, and handle the circle pane enlarge. Circle pane enlarge should change the circle size. Alright, so this is the key here. This is different circle right there. This is different circle. So that's why this circle and the other circle are different. Now, we have to look at when we create this, what circle that we are setting on. This is your circle pane to set. So that's why we're not going to use this circle anymore. Okay? Because this circle is different than circle pane. We refer to circle pane instead. Then we can control the circle pane. Let's rerun this application. Enlarge, enlarge, enlarge. So you see that it's keep enlarging. So it works now. Let's do shrink. We didn't register event. So let's register event to the button. So what's the button name? Shrink. Do the same, but now shrink header. And we have to create shrink header. So let's create shrink header now. Shrink. And just create a class, shrink header, as an inner class in here. So implement action events, right? So implement handle. Got implement event header. Now what we want to do in here pretty much just going to call circle pane dot shrink. You're going to shrink, and that should do the code for shrink is there. Circle pane is the key, it's extend stack pane. So now let's rerun this application and see if we can shrink. Enlarge, shrink. Not yet. Enlarge. Enlarge is shrinking. So maybe I register something not right. Button shrink new button. Oh, because I didn't do button shrink set action. Okay. So let's rerun this. Shrink. Enlarge. Shrink. So it works. So that's how we use event header for this application. We talk about inner class. You've seen that it's designed specifically to create listener object for a GUI component. It will not be shared by other applications. That's why I make it as inner class. It's just support for that application only. Like in this case, I create the circle pane only used in this application, shrink handler only this, enlarge handler only this for the buttons. So that's why we just do inner class instead. It's appropriate to define a listener class inside the frame class as an inner class. Now, we see the format like that. We see that you can actually do new inner class inside the class like that. This is exactly what we did, right? And then you just do inner class like that. Okay. Inner class, a class is a member of another class. That's right. Advantages in some applications, you can use an inner class to make programs simple. An inner class can reference the data and methods defined in the outer class in which it nests. So you don't need to pass a reference of the outer class to the constructor of the inner class So that's the benefits. Like in this case, we use the